Well, good afternoon, my friends. Good afternoon, team. Guys, today is another very, very unique event. A couple of weeks ago, we had an absolute distinct honor to have a conversation with Julie Bolster. Not a recording, a conversation. And today, I have a joy and a pleasure to have another conversation with Lisa Barnes. Guys, I don't call Lisa Barnes Vice President of Research and Development. No, I actually call her Chief Scientific Officer. This is my thing and stuff. And it's very exciting because when I first met Lisa, I thought that I found someone that I can actually spit out. I can regurgitate, pardon my language, my excitement about the formulas, the process, the sort of the thoughts about the new products or something that actually changes lives, changes or supports health. We don't treat, cure, and mitigate diseases. No, that's not the point. The point is proactivity. How do we get to the point of not treating diseases? How do we get to the point of the health? And I believe that's LifeVantage. And then, meeting Lisa and like, let's do this with an NRF2. We can do this and then this. And I see the reciprocal excitement. And that's how it has started. And let's say the communication between her and I. Oh, listen, I just read this article. Oh, please, please, please send it to me. Oh, have you heard of this? Can you please do a literature search on this?
Mhm.
Because people, me as a Dr. Silverman, you need to understand one thing. I have to be legit. And my legitimacy comes from learning. And because of LifeVantage, I learn.
Mhm.
Because of LifeVantage, it stimulates me to go and do peer-reviewed studies and to go to the health and wellness, anti-aging, metabolic medicine conferences so I can actually understand what LifeVantage does. So without further ado, guys, let me introduce to you incredible and amazing Lisa Barnes, who actually kindly agreed to us to do this sit down just a few hours before she boards the plane to Australia and does gazillion presentations there. And as you know, we just came back from the convention in Salt Lake City. And trust me, she was a little bit popular. So she's a busy
Few
girl.
conversations.
A busy pro, and
Yeah.
there we actually met few of her kids. We met her daughters. So she is a mom and a wife and a chief science officer and a researcher and an animal mom. She's got dogs and cats and
Oh,
some
yes.
other animals and some other
Three
animals.
dogs, a cat, some tortoises, whatever you can think of, we
Yeah,
have in our house.
there you go. So anyway, Lisa, thank you so very much.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to get to chat with you for a few minutes.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
Why LifeVantage? I'm pretty sure you had choices.
I did have choices. One of the things that drew me to LifeVantage, first of all, I hadn't heard about it when the opportunity was presented to me, which is always interesting to me. Because I had previously come from a really large company that was really well known, and I hadn't heard of LifeVantage before, sadly, now looking back. But it was enough that when I started doing a little bit of research, I had my interest sparked because I could feel the commitment to science just coming from looking at the different product pages. But that's not where I stopped. I looked and saw that there was a commitment to science, but I wanted to see if the science was legitimate because I talk about this quite a bit where I have a face where I can't lie because if I was lying or if I was not 100% committed to what I'm talking about, it would show all over here. And it's a good thing. And sometimes it's a bad thing because it's not good at keeping secrets. So birthday surprises, not so good, but it's good for really committing, showing my commitment and my belief in products. So if I am going to move over to a company and put my name behind the company, if I'm going to get up on stage and talk about the science and the philosophy behind product development, I have to 100 believe in it. And that was my number one priority, was determining, first of all, was what LifeVantage had legitimate? And so I dug into all of the studies, all the 30 peer-reviewed studies on pertanium nerve 2, not only nerve 2, but that was the heritage. But I looked into all the rest of the product strategy to see if there were solid products. I looked into what's the commitment to quality, what's the commitment to the types of ingredients that are chosen. Are they natural? Are they naturally occurring? Are they all synthetic? What is the philosophy behind the company? Because that's the philosophy that I would need to speak to. And I needed to ensure that I was aligned with how we were talking about it. Now, as I was entering into LifeVantage or looking at it, the activation was starting to be thrown around a little bit as far as the philosophy, but it wasn't defined yet. So that was exciting that there was the beginnings of this kind of word describing the science behind LifeVantage, but it wasn't fleshed out yet. I also saw with the size of the portfolio that LifeVantage had that there were so many opportunities for growth. Because from a research and development side, if I come into a company and they have 500 products and they've done all of these different things, then my entire job would be trying to make products better. And that's kind of boring. I mean, it's good in some ways, and I love improving products, but it's not what I want my whole job to be. I want to be looking for new solutions, looking at new chemistries, looking at new biological pathways. I want to be on the cutting edge versus just constantly refreshing something or revamping something or coming up with products that are just interesting but not life-changing. And so all of those pieces came together with LifeVantage, along with a really compelling leadership team that LifeVantage had. I met Julie, I met Michelle, I was meeting key leaders in the company, and I could tell that they believed in what they were talking about. I could tell that they were committed to their mission and committed to really helping people improve their health and grow their business. I could see there was a genuineness there. And if I'm going to spend hours and hours and hours of my week working with people, we need to be aligned in our passion, aligned in our mission. And also, they just got to be some really good people, because I'm spending more time with them sometimes than my family. So that's kind of a little quick peek of why I picked LifeVantage, and I've never looked back since I've said yes. Oh, you are muted, my friend.
I was trying to click and click. You know, it's interesting because I'm an oldie goldie with LifeVantage.
Yeah.
Great. And the thing is, we, as different kinds of Ds, doctors, we started that sort of a group. We used to be called Doctors in LifeVantage. Then
Yeah.
we changed it to, we started it with 6 people. Then we turned it into healthcare professionals in LifeVantage. And from 6 people, if you start actually calculating healthcare professionals in LifeVantage, I kid you not, we're probably in a couple thousand.
Oh, I agree.
We're not, obviously, as doctors, we're not, but I believe that as doctors, we're probably in a couple hundreds, not a couple hundreds, probably at least we're approaching few dozens or maybe 100. Sorry, don't
Yeah.
have a number, but you have to ask yourself a question. Why do medical doctors, why do naturopathic doctors, why do chiropractic doctors, why do veterinarian doctors, why do dentists, why do pharmacology doctors of all doctors join network marketing company, join LifeVantage? So
Yeah.
from so from that perspective, now being an oldie goldie and experiencing this growth, I had a privilege to serve on multiple scientific advisory boards. We have never been as excited to be SAB members. We have never been because, well, in a sense, so sorry, my cats are fighting. That's the time.
That's real life.
It's a real life interview.
It's
That
why
yeah.
I film all of my things at the
Yeah.
office
You have
instead of
to
at home, because
they
you have
have
a dog sitting on my shoulder if I was home.
well, sorry, my 6 pounder, 60 pounder cannot sit on my shoulder. I'm sure he would love to.
Oh, my 70-pounder still tries to, and I just
Yeah.
get mushed.
So the thing about this, And I mean, a lot of us medical doctors, it's like we do have some research background, and some of us are thriving a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of time, our expertise was not recognized, but not utilized.
Hmm.
But now, the excitement of serving on SAB board is the utilization not only of my knowledge, but of my experience. It's
Yeah.
incredible. That's number one. So thank you. That started with you. Now,
Oh,
what else do I notice about research and develop team? I see them, I talk to them. Guys, I mean, their smile. It
true.
feels
We
like
love what we're
a happy,
doing.
it feels like a happy group. I don't want to work with geniuses. I know how to find them. I know how to read books and stuff. I even know a few geniuses by name. I love happy microenvironment with normal people. I mean, with obviously very, very smart people. There are some geniuses, mind you, on research development in LifeVantage, it's like I have no words about Christina.
I
And
100% agree. That's why I was looking over. I was looking over. She's sitting right over there.
and the amazingness of her, that is a genius with a smile and humility. So
Oh, so
also,
much humility.
so what I mean, now how I feel, when I feel that happiness, and I
Yeah.
also feel that there is some desire in the corporate LV into making us more legit. But
Oh,
what
yeah.
happened, what happened with your appearance, as you said, the excitement is when you have 500 products.
There's so many. You don't know what all to talk about.
But the thing is, what you guys did, and you went into kind of like, the tip of the um, recent healthcare health activation.
Hmm.
You guys, you came up with collagen peptides.
Hmm.
Collagen is the flavor of, every company. It's a flavor of
Oh,
every
yeah.
supplement. I go to the gym and the collagen powder in this thing, big tubs, it's all over the place. But people don't understand
The
that it
differences.
doesn't work. So you
Exactly.
came up with this and that validation and what goes into this. And then the MB.
Yes.
Mind body. Again, obviously everybody, the pharmaceutical advances in activation of whatever they call GLP-1. In
Yeah.
this, it's not activation of GLP-1, it's an
No.
upregulation of GLP-1 receptors.
Yes.
The thing is, we live making GLP-1. So what is the strategy of us keep making it? And the problem is, the older we get, the less we make.
Yeah.
How can we bring it up? How can we activate and optimize the body? And that's you guys, and it's you. So now it's you. Maybe next time it's going to be Christina, but go pick Christina for an interview. She's so modest and she's like so shy. So
She
I'll give
she
her, I'll
a
give her
lot.
drugs. I will give her, sorry. Guys, it's an alive, real interview. I warned you there will be a dog.
No, but Christina is a fantastic one to talk about. She's really taking the lead in developing the protocols for our research and building those relationships with our third-party research partners and really driving for those studies because the amount of research that we're doing that we did in the last year and the amount of research we're going to do in the year to come is so much more intense and so much more numerous than we've ever done in the past, which I think is incredible to see because it shows LifeVantage's commitment to research and to continuously validating our products. Because you look at all of our competitors and their budgets are getting slashed. They have a whole pipeline of research that they would love to do and they don't get to do it because the company doesn't believe in the research. They believe that they can get the money without the research. And I have a leadership team here who firmly believes that the research is key to getting the products, creating the products, and talking about the products that are going to change people's lives and change people's businesses. And that leads to people being able to better support themselves and have their own businesses. But in the end, it's about creating products that will truly help people.
Amen to this. That's exactly. And I mean, I lived through, the company goes through stages. now having the corporate who actually support the notion of LifeVantage.
Yes.
We support health. We activate health, but we activate health on the scientific background.
Yes,
And
exactly.
that's why it's like, thanks to you, thanks to the one that sits next to you, it will be very, very nice if she actually shows her face. That will be
Oh,
absolutely awesome. Christina, get into the camera. That will be amazing.
she can't hear you because she's outside the office, but
Oh, now she's outside the office.
yeah.
So now let's get back to the beauties.
Yes,
And I don't want to waste your time. Let's jump to MB,
let's do it.
mind body. And considering that I am in Canada, so let's talk about the global formulation.
Very much so. And it's
Just,
especially
let's just,
timely because we just
yeah,
launched it globally.
yeah, and let's touch 200%. So it's all yours. Floor is all yours. Pour it on me.
Yes. So the approach, we originally launched our US formula in October, and I know Canada had that for a while on NFR. And that's a phenomenal formula. It comes from a perspective of activating GLP-1 production in two ways, directly through the MB core, and then indirectly through the microbiome through the MB enhance. And that was proven both through in vitro studies showing the mechanism of action and then through human clinical trials.
I have a
But
clinical trial. I'm drinking it right now.
see, perfect. She's living it right now. So when we approached our global formula, because there are different regulations globally, that's just how it goes. And some of it comes down to the regulatory bodies that there are, but that doesn't stop our scientific creativity. So we don't, when we approach global formulas, just take the US formula and strip out all of the ingredients that don't work and then just launch it. I think there's that perception sometimes, and some companies do that, where they're like, let's hit the easy button. Canada's hard with Health Canada, so let's take out everything that doesn't work and then just launch it and hope it works. We don't do that. We always review our initial formulas for compliance, but when there are ingredients that don't work, we don't just remove them. We're always looking at what were the functionalities of those ingredients and how do we look at other ingredients that have that same functionality. But it's not even just that, because it's never just a one-for-one ingredient replacement. We're always looking at where are those synergies. So as we look at replacing ingredients and coming up with ingredients that are compliant in our global markets, we are affirming and confirming the efficacy both on the cell study and the human clinical side. So we started with our international formulas looking in vitro in L cells, just like we did for the US formula. We looked at all the genes from looking at DPP4, looking at GLP-1R, but we looked at GCG, we looked at actual GLP-1 secretion and production in the cells, just like we did for the US, and confirmed our mechanism of action. And that's how we chose to move forward with our formula. Because if we knew that it did not work along those pathways, we would have stopped right there. It would not have been the formula, because we don't have different standards for our international formulas than we do for our US formulas. There are not different standards that we hold ourselves to, and there is not a different approach to research. So we selected the ingredients, screened the ingredients, put them together in combinations, looked at synergies in vitro. We looked at them in-house to determine, are we seeing synergies and people are experiencing benefits? And then we looked at human clinical, which is what we just finished in April. And that's where sorry, you can hear my voice from talking to all the people. So just, if you hear the squawking like a teenage boy, that's what it's from. Then we went into our human clinical, and what makes our human clinical so powerful is it's in people and specifically looking at GLP-1 in blood. And so it's nice that I can do it in cells. That's a proof of principle, but the proof really comes in the blood work. And that's where we saw our over 200% increase over the course of our 12-week study. Now, there's going to be more data that's going to be coming out over the next couple of weeks. We are in the process of updating our patent application with all of the data we just received, because when we create something, when we spend all this time crafting something and proving that it works, we protect it to ensure that no one else can come out with what we have, because people are watching us, people are seeing what we are doing, and we want to protect that. So that's what we're doing now. But in the next couple of weeks, you're going to see more data come out, both on the biometric sides, so looking at fat percentage, looking at visceral fat, looking at muscle. We are going to be showing data on subjective measurements, people's cravings, fast food, salty, sweet, alcohol, You're going to see some of those numbers come out. You're also going to see a lot of blood work because it was not all GLP-1. We looked at other targets. We looked at GIP, which is kind of a sister hormone to GLP-1. We looked at pancreatic polypeptide, a neuropeptide that's working along that gut-brain axis. We looked at leptin. We looked at A1C. We're looking at all of these different targets, and you're going to see all of that come out in the next few weeks. So stay tuned to our science page. For Canada, you'll have to find it in some other places. Oh, I like all the fireworks. We'll make sure that you guys have a way to get all of this available kind of while you're waiting for your official full launch to happen, but it will all be out there so you'll be able to grab it. But we'll be starting to go out on the road. That's why I'm going on to Australia, to be able to start spreading the word of all of the clinical results. But I think something that's going to be incredibly important to the discussion is going to be the product on its own does amazing things. It helps to restore levels of a critical hormone that can play a role in weight, but plays a role in so many aspects of health: liver, kidney health, neuroprotective, cardioprotective, everything you can think of it's connecting to. But it's not a magic pill specifically for weight loss. And so part of the discussion that we're going to be continuing to have over the next coming weeks and months is, how does this MB system play into all of the other things you're going to be doing in your lifestyle to have a healthier life? It's going to make these choices easier. And that's why we love MB, because if you have better communication between your gut and your brain, then you're not having your gut and your brain fighting you as you're trying to make decisions to choose the right nutrition, to move your body the way you should, to drink the water that you should be drinking, to do the weight training you should be doing, to sleep like you should. All of these things that we know are necessary to be able to maintain a healthy weight and just honestly have a healthier lifestyle altogether, and becomes along as kind of your buddy. You link arms with it, and it makes it easier to make those choices so you can see those sustainable results. So a lot to be excited with MB. Different formula, same approach, same rigor to the research, and a lot of really interesting data that's going to come out over the next few weeks that's going to really continue to build belief in this formula.
That's incredible. Absolutely amazing. I got three words: synergy, efficacy, uniqueness.
Yes. Yeah.
Now,
And that's what we always are focusing on, because there's a lot of ingredients that everyone uses, and sometimes there's good reason for that, but we never rest on an ingredient that everyone's using. Like,
I,
otherwise we'd be someone else.
I love the simplicity of LifeVantage.
Yeah.
I actually love that our products don't have
Yeah.
that list, because that too much to me, it's too complicated and stuff. So
Keep it
I
as simple as
like the
possible.
I like the simplicity and the synergy.
Yes.
Talk to us please about vanilla and
Yes.
the berry.
Yes, so different flavors. So something that, as we move into international markets, that comes into play is sweeteners and different flavors that are used. US is always a lot more lenient than the rest of the world. The rest of the world is a little bit more stringent, and part of that is the level of sweetener you can use. And so we knew that if we were going to create a global formula, we were limited to a small amount of stevia. And so if we just use the small amount of stevia with the vanilla, it'd be gross. And part of our product development is that we need to have delightful products you're actually going to want to use every single day. And so we started looking at alternatives. And part of what we were looking at with the MB Enhance, as far as kind of revamping that formula for international, was adding in these berries that had polyphenols. Because we know with the polyphenols, we have all these other benefits that come from polyphenols, but it also feeds the correct bacteria in the gut to be able to produce your short chain fatty acids and activate your GLP-1. And so the benefit of using these fruits is we also got some natural flavor from them. We got some natural sweetness. And so that we were able to really kind of capitalize on that natural flavor that just comes from these berries, along with a tiny bit of sweetener. So the international formula actually, the global formula actually has a more streamlined flavor profile, really focusing on the key ingredients in the formula versus going with a vanilla like we did with the US, because we wanted it to taste good and be true to the ingredients.
Well, thank you. Because the thing is, again, And what I love what you said, that we are going with, oh, LifeVantage is going now with approach to health through amalgamation of a different mechanisms.
Yes.
The GLP activation in association, like, with NRF2, with a mitochondrial boost, with hormonal profile,
Oh, yeah,
it's all amalgamated. So we need the proper hormonal regulation and we need the proper GLP-1. You
exactly.
you said, let's say gut brain, and then I'm
Mhm.
immediately thinking of immune system because this
Yep,
wonderful triangle of immune system, gut, and brain, and they all have to function in togetherness. So
exactly.
that's
Nothing is separate. It's all
nothing,
interconnected.
nothing. So from that perspective, I'm kind of anticipating that LifeVantage, like you guys already working in some new products into, like, again, bringing them into the synergistic approach with whatever we have in
Oh, yeah.
line of tri-synergizer or cellular
Oh,
um
yeah. We're always looking at the
cellular up-
synergies with our other products.
cellular upkeep. It's amazing
Yes.
because
And
it's
that's
like,
always part of our research pipeline is looking at where do we see synergies with our current products. It's definitely where we're looking. And at the same time, we're also looking at what else can we activate? What's coming next? So my team is a master at doing multitasking because we're always looking at the products we're launching, we're looking at the synergies with the products we already have, and then we're looking at what's to come. And then also we're looking at what's to come and the synergies with what we have. So there's
what are the
always,
secrets? What are the secrets? What are the
oh,
secrets?
there's so many secrets
What are
that
the
come
secrets?
with time. Yeah,
Uh,
don't worry.
no, no,
Steve,
no.
pull my
That's
parking spot
awesome.
if
Yeah,
I don't
but
get, if I
that's
tell
again
you any secrets.
that's an excitement. But
Yeah.
listen, a couple days ago, I actually listened to webinar for the first time. It was the webinar on GLP-1.
Oh, yes. Is that the one you sent over today?
But the webinar was an association of collagen peptides
Ooh,
and GLP-1. So I never thought of that. So now, just I really, really want to thank you guys for that. I do for liquid collagens.
yeah.
And I want to thank you for liquid collagen composition because it's like when you say synergy and co-activation,
Mhm.
it's like, why do we have berries? Well, because berries have vitamin C. Why do we have vitamin C? Because we need this collagen peptides into the cells. So, what promotes the collagen peptides into the cells is vitamin C. So, basically, it's like everything has a certain cognitive way and the scientific explanation to
Oh,
this.
yes.
This is not like,
Oh, yeah. We do not pick ingredients just to pick ingredients because they
yeah.
sound cool. Each of them
That
will have a
sounds
specific purpose.
exactly, that sounds cool because, let's face, when you go to the health food store and you pick up something that has
Oh, yeah.
so
It's sometimes people look at it and say the volume of ingredients equals efficacy, but really it's the composition, how it's put together, and the care it's put together with that impacts how it's put together. Because you can have the same list of ingredients put together in 4 different ways and have 4 different ways of impacting the body.
it's almost like baking.
Yeah, it is. It
It's
is.
because it's like you've got to have this certain combination for
Exactly.
that thing to rise and
Exactly. Otherwise, it's going to
become
fall flat.
yeah, become deliciousness. Yeah. And the interesting thing is, it's like me. For example, it's my first thing starts within, MB capsules. That's, I've got a bottle on the bedstand. So, like, before I wake up 30 minutes later,
Yep,
then
first
I'm
thing.
ready to start. And then, per se, as you said, we need some protein. I cannot have protein in the morning. That's just me. Sorry, I can't have beans in the morning.
That's
I
fair.
this is my metabolism. I can't have an omelet in the morning. I can. It just doesn't agree with me. So, but what can agree with me? Collagen peptides.
There you go.
That gives me bona fide, pure, unadulterated, already somewhat absolutely bioavailable and bioabsorbable 5 grams into my system.
Yes.
And then on occasion, I treat myself. Well, I jog with something else, I kind of find my ways.
Yeah.
On occasion, I treat myself. I do 2 liquid collagens. Yum,
Ooh.
yum. I create very complicated beverages and stuff. But then I
Doing a
give
little mixology.
a little mixology
Yeah.
because I know that these proteins go exactly. this collagen pep go exactly where I actually want them to be.
Yes. That
Now,
bioavailability is key because,
please touch on the again. I don't. The interesting thing, I don't want to say unique, but it is unique
yeah.
because liquid collagen peptides contains 7 collagen types. That's unique because everyone, I mean, you go and you start looking into the collagen, it's collagen type 1, collagen type 2. That's it.
Oh, yeah. It's very focused versus broad.
And everybody's concentrated on wrinkles, like
That's
wrinkles and
beauty.
stuff. But the thing is, collagen is in every. Why do I like collagen peptides? Well, collagen is in every organ, and
Every
it is, and
tissue.
yeah, and a collagen is a collagen is a collagen. It's the same molecular structure. What is the difference, right? What is the difference between collagens? It's geometrical. It's a geometrical orientation.
Mhm.
It's the geometrical composition, so they're funny looking.
Yeah.
So one composition is for the skin, one composition is for the joints and stuff, and then the other collagen is, let's say, for the blood vessels. So the same thing. My take is, why do I like collagen peptides? Because we have specific types for retina, and I'm a pathologist. I need to look in the microscope.
Yep.
And
You
then
want those eyes
we
working.
have collagen peptides for the blood vessels. Because
Mhm.
if we think that the skin is wrinkling, well, guess what? The
Everything else is.
blood, the blood vessels are wrinkling.
Mhm.
You do not want wrinkled blood vessels.
Because everything in the mirror is all temporary and it's all short term, but everything that's happening on the inside is going to impact your health for years to come. And I think it all comes about what your goals are. Like, what do you want to be doing in 10, 20, 30, 40 years? Everything you're doing now, all the products you're taking, all of the things you're ingesting, all the things you're doing with your body are impacting what that will look like. And so, you want to be thinking about what are those blood vessels? What's the structural integrity of them? You want to be thinking about the structural integrity of your brain, how everything's communicating. If it's not communicating now, it's not going to get better if you don't do anything about it.
No, if you don't get proper activation of your GLP-1, fine. But if you don't have them into the cells, and GLP-1, it not only makes my satiety, my pancreas, it works with the brain and the story.
Yes.
But why? And then we'll start looking at omegas. Our we don't give kudos to our omegas enough.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough, because without that, and sorry, I was a vegan for many, many years, but I was still on omegas. At certain age, you need those fishes or
Mhm.
fish oils, otherwise your brain is not going to function.
And that impacts so much of your quality of life. You want to be able to interact, you want to be able to vocalize, you want to be able to reason and remember. And there's so many pieces of your quality of life that are tied to your brain health. And it just makes it a no brainer, no pun intended, to be dealing with it now versus trying to rectify damage once it's already done.
Isn't your work interesting?
It's so much fun.
Isn't it?
It's never boring, which I love. Like, from the minute that I was in school and I was learning about different pathways and how everything was interconnected, I was like, this is what I got to do for the rest of my life. Because it's never boring. You're always finding out more. You're always finding out how things are interconnected. And there's always a problem to be solved and new solutions to come up with. Never boring.
And you're doing, and if somebody supports you and letting you do that,
Oh, yeah. That's
how
an
awesome,
ideal career.
how awesome it is.
Yeah.
Don't do not go anywhere.
I'm sticking around.
Mm.
Julie's threatened me. She's like, you're sticking around no matter what. So I have no plans.
Good for Julie, although, and she's sticking around as
She is.
well. So listen, I don't want to take any more of your time, and we're like about 30 minutes. That's exactly how I wanted. It was
Perfect.
my such unique pleasure and honor to have that conversation. No, wait. Mine's
Yours
proper.
will actually do the hearts. Mine doesn't do that.
Mine's proper.
I
And
know
this
you have
is
a
for
proper
you,
one,
and this is for you on the trip.
right?
Where is it?
Oh, see, now it's given up. I think you have to do the
Oh.
yes. That'll be my celebration of leaving on an airplane to go to my
That's
Australian
right.
tour.
That's right. A little bit of a rest. And please take care of your cold. Guys, It was so much fun. Lisa Barnes, you're amazing.
Oh,
And
thank
we cannot wait to see you here in Canada.
I know. Tell Alexis, tell her to have me come visit and we'll come, we'll all talk.
You got it. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you.
Thank you.